Hey, what's up? It's Evelyn. Welcome back to Class with Prof. Eve. We're doing a book review today. The book is called On Being an Introvert or Highly Sensitive Person, A Guide to Boundaries, Joy, and Meaning. Right? It's the second book review for this channel. And I look forward to more this year. Check out my other book review of Love After Midnight by Sister Soldier. So I just recently finished this book. It was a part of my 25 books in 2025 challenge, and I loved it. I got it from the library, which is why you can see the tag there, but I'm actually going to buy a copy of this book for myself because it resonated so much for me and my personality and my life, and really helped to answer some questions about things that I've struggled with as far as my social interaction with people. And even some dynamics in personal relationships as well, certainly work relationships also. And so a common thread throughout the book is the work of Carl Jung, who was a Swiss psychiatrist and psychotherapist. And so he's referred to pretty often. And really, I would say is kind of his framework is used as the base to this discussion of introvert personalities. And you actually learn quite a bit about extroverts as well, because it's like the alternative or the opposite would be extroverts. And so there's something for extroverts here too that I think is really important. Actually, I would encourage extroverts to read this book so that you can better understand your introvert friends and loved ones. That would be very helpful because a big part of this book is providing ways that introverts can communicate, try to clarify miscommunication and communicate how they may be different from extroverts, in certain situations. And extroverts might read that often as introverts being standoffish, unfriendly, aloof, but really it's just our personality, right? We're just kind of in our head or, overstimulated by the environment or the people. So I read a little bit. There's lots of areas in the book where it's like, okay, if you answer yes to this statement, then you're more aligned with this. If you answer no, you're more aligned with this. And so in the very beginning, it has some characteristics of the introverted personality type. And so it says if you're an introvert, you'll probably answer no to most of the following statements. I think a weekend without a party is a bad weekend, and I feel disappointed on Sunday evening. I like knowing a little bit about everything, but if I have to dig more deeply into a particular topic for an extended period of time, I get bored. I love excitement and throw myself gladly into new experiences without any major reflection. I think best while I'm talking. These are all things that introvert personalities would generally say no to, and I agree. On the other page, it says, on the other hand, you will probably answer yes to most of the following statements. If I have to say something to a large group, I prefer to be well prepared. If I own my own experience of what is true and correct conflicts with the general understanding of what is good, I am inclined to listen more to my own logic or intuition. Others have told me that I think too much about things. I am selective about the company I keep. In some contexts and with certain people, I enjoy being with others very much, but otherwise I prefer being alone to being with others. If there is too much going on around me, I get tired and prefer to rest alone in peace and quiet, or perhaps have a single person I know well. Yes, exclamation mark to all of those statements for me. Like I am absolutely an introvert. But one thing that I'll say, and the book talks about this as well, and this goes back to Carl Jung's theory of the introvert extrovert personalities. Now we've introduced this concept of ambivert, Ambivert, people that are kind of in the middle. And so no one is exclusively extrovert and exclusively introvert. Introverts do have people, most of us do have a few close people. It might be our children, but we do have a few close people that we can be ourselves with, open up with, and be comfortable around almost all the time without much effort. And there's also, and with those people or in those situations where we're comfortable, we can have a very outgoing and vibrant personality. And I'm that way. I think that my personality characteristics, especially in public, settings or interaction with people, I don't know that people would always read me as introvert. So if I think about like my astrological signs, I'm a Sagittarius rising, and your rising sign is said to be what determines kind of the way that you engage in the world. And Sagittarius is a fire sign, very energetic, very outgoing. And I definitely think that that is my public persona. Like that is the way that I generally kind of am when I'm engaging with in conversation with people. But I also have this side of me that's very private, can be very quiet, can be very introspective and introverted. I'm also a Capricorn sun, so that is like the foundation or core of my personality. So there's that too. And so the other part of this book, the title says I'm being introvert or a highly sensitive person. So there are some introverts that are not highly sensitive, and there are introverts that are highly sensitive. And I think it says that most introverts are also highly sensitive, or a good portion of introverts are also highly sensitive. And I think that I would also identify as a highly sensitive person or an empathic person, meaning that I can pick up on the way that other people feel when they're around me. I can pick up on other people's energy. That's another reason that we are very careful about where we go and who we spend our time with, because we soak up the energy of other people, and things impact and hit us kind of differently. They trigger our emotions a little bit differently than they might other people. So I'll read a little bit about the highly sensitive trait. If you are highly sensitive, you will probably answer no to most of the statements that follow. I think our annual Christmas party at work should last 12 hours. I love exciting adventure tours where you don't know in advance what's going on. I eat pretty much anything, and I'm neither fussy nor picky. I sleep heavily and well at night and am not disturbed by light or sound. I think a brisk fight is refreshing. I thrive in environments where there are a lot of activities at once. No, for introverts. On the other hand, you will probably answer yes to most of the following statements if you are highly sensitive. When I have seen or heard something about the suffering of other people, it can affect my mood for a long time. I suffer from a bad conscience easily. I am very creative or have a lively imagination. I am often disturbed by smells or sounds that most people do not seem to be bothered by. If I am too cold or too hot, I cannot ignore it, but I have to change the temperature or go somewhere else. I do not care for conflict. And I definitely resonate with a lot of these things as well. So again, I do think that I'm also highly sensitive as well as introverted when it comes to my personality type predominantly. So anyway, that's the gist of this book. It's a pretty small book. I think it's less than 200 pages. I highly recommend it for everyone, regardless of your personality type, because again, it gave me some insight into extroverts and the ways that I can better engage and deal with them and help them understand how my personality and the way that I move through the world is different from them, so that we can get along better and have better relationships. You just find, you can learn more, right, about other personalities besides yourself, and then go deeper into your own personality and begin to kind of reflect on some of the experiences that you've had in life or some of the challenges, that you've had, and begin to kind of understand them better. So I really appreciate this book so much. It's by Ilse Sand, Ilse. Last name Sand, Sand. Go get it. Check it out. It's worth the read. All right. Catch you later. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.